All you homeowners have unique needs. Some feel the need to paint their door a vibrant shade of blue. Others have the need to decorate their bathroom with fish, anchors, and other nautical items. And because each homeowner has unique needs, Geico helps you get the right coverage for your home and what's in it. That way, you get exactly what's right for you, even if your needs are unique. Get more with Geico.
Welcome to the Dynasty Dugout Show, a podcast covering all things minor league baseball. Get a front row seat to the action with everything you need to know about the future stars of Major League Baseball. And now, here's your host, Chris Clegg.
Hello and welcome to the Dynasty Dugout Show. Today is Wednesday. It's March the 19th. Crazy enough, the Japan series is wrapped up. Teams will be coming back, participating in more spring training, and then the regular season will get underway shortly. But we are back to recap another spring breakout game. So I spent 6 days in Florida, seeing all the spring breakout games, going to the backfields. Got a lot of good intel. Got a lot of good reports on the site at thedynastydugout.com. You can check those out. Written reports on every team that I saw play with video as well. So I record 3 cameras worth at every game, so I get behind the plate for pitchers and open face for hitters as well. So go check those out. A lot of good insight there, but I'm going to break them down right here. But first, this episode is brought to you by Connect Roasters. I've got my Connect Roasters cold brew right here, the Gold Glove blend that I cold brew every week. My cold brew maker gets me about a week worth of coffee, and I love throwing the cold foam on top. It's incredible. Connect Roasters is Ian Happ's coffee company. Connect Roasters makes an incredibly smooth blend of coffee, and they give back to the community like no one else. They're a great brand to represent and support. Go to connectroasters.com. Get your Gold Glove blend, buy one, get one 50% off by using the code DynastyDugout at checkout or the link below. We're also proud to be partnering with Chinook Seedery, the best seeds in the game. You can use the code DynastyDugout there as well to get 10% off your first order. Let's dive right in. Off the top, we obviously have to talk about Bubba Chandler, right? Chandler started the game for the Pirates. He was absolutely electric. He did everything that you wanted to see. Chandler struck out 4 batters over 2 perfect innings. He ramped up to 100 multiple times. Fastball set 98 to 99, but he did touch triple digits quite often. The slider, he was throwing fuzz with the slider in the upper 80s to low 90s range. He was throwing a 92-mile-an-hour changeup. Chandler's stuff was incredible. He dropped in a couple curveballs as well, 83 to 85 range. Bubba Chandler just checks every box that you want to see. He's got ace stuff. There's zero doubt about that. He's ready to pitch in the big leagues. His command has improved year over year. Yeah, I don't have much else to say about Chandler, but he looks the part, and he looks more than ready to be in the big leagues. So when does that happen? That's the question. I don't have a great answer for that. Now we have some injuries with that Pirates rotation, and so it's kind of like, okay, where does Chandler fit in this picture? Could he debut on opening day? And then while I wouldn't rule that out, I don't think it's possible. Harrington's on the 40-man. We'll see where they go with that, but I don't know. I think Chandler probably more likely takes the Skeens route, which would be coming up in mid-May. And so I still expect Chandler to have a very good 2025 season in the big leagues. A couple others to talk about. Anthony Solometo came in after Chandler. He was wild. He hit a couple batters. It just didn't look great, in my opinion. He struck out 3. Which is good. The fastball was up to 92, 93, which is good because Solometo had set in the 80s a lot last year. So that was good. He's a big lefty, lower slot, very funky stuff. Good slider, change, good horizontal movement both ways. So Solometo allowed 2 earned over 1 1/3 innings. But I thought Hunter Barco was really where the good impression was made. I've seen Barco, saw him last year. The velo seems to be taking a step forward here with Barco, which was good. Barco pitched 2 innings. He did allow 1 earned on 1 hit. He struck out one batter as well, but I thought Barco pitched much better than the results said. When you look at Barco, the velo and results, like Barco set like 95, 96, which was really, really good. Like I thought that was pretty impressive from Barco. He showed a lot of good stuff. He throws a pretty nice splitter as well in the mid to upper 80s with pretty late movement. He throws a more traditional change too with depth and fade. He'll throw 2 slider variations at you with a sweeper and then one that's more of a traditional slider shape. And like I said, the fastball topped at 97.3, which is very, very good. So, that stood out to me from Hunter Barco, lefty from University of Florida. He's made progress since coming back from TJ, and he really looks the part. Last year, 3.27 ERA across 66 innings with 83 strikeouts and 22 walks. I think Barco could take another step forward. I think he's on the cusp of being that lefty that rotation needs in Pittsburgh. Now, is he going to debut in 2025? Maybe end of season, but I'd say he's more of a 2026 guy. A couple others that the Pirates threw. Wilbur Dotel was interesting. Jaden Woods was good. But over to the Philly side for the pitchers, Moises Chace started the game. Chace has been getting a lot of buzz this offseason, and for good reason. Chace had a great year last year. He has a unique fastball. While it's set 92 to 94, he creates this incredibly flat plane that makes it tough for hitters. He gets good ride on it, and he only threw 12 pitches, so there wasn't a lot to take away. It's interesting, there's been pushback on this Moises Chace kind of hype train because the fastball velo. But here's the thing that we have to realize with pitching prospects is that it's not like this guy has had that much experience in pro ball. He's going to get to the majors probably this year. And Chace is going to have so many resources available at his dispense just to be able to have and to work. He's going to have these resources that are going to make him a significantly better pitcher when he gets to Philadelphia. And we're talking about a pitcher right now, but who Chace could be in 3 years. I think that velo is going to tick up. This is a frame that I could certainly see him adding a little bit of velocity to. And 92 to 94 works considering how unique the fastball is. I think we're so quick as an industry to kind of throw people in a bucket and say all right, well, he's in this bucket, this velo and IVB bucket. Listen, IVB doesn't matter a lick without release height. The vertical approach angle certainly matters, and Chace had the flattest vertical approach angle of any starting pitcher in the minors last season. That counts for something. It's a high-riding pitch from his release point. The IVB above average is very, very good. The changeup plays really well off the fastball. It's 10 or more miles an hour of separation with 12 inches of fade on that changeup, so it's a good pitch. It's moving how you want to. And the slider sits in the low 80s with good sweeping action. So Chace gave us 12 pitches to work with. It wasn't a lot, but I think that it's really all about strike throwing with Moises Chace. Can he throw enough strikes to be a relevant starter? If he can, then he's a major breakout arm this year, and I wouldn't rule that out a bit. So I'm aboard the Moises Chace hype train. I think there's a lot to like there, and I'm going to push back on the pushback that people have given because Chace's still young in his pitching development, and frankly, the fastball is really good despite the velo. For the velo bucket that he falls in, that's a dang good fastball. So on to Gene Cabrera. Cabrera's somebody that I've liked as well in the past, and honestly, he wasn't great. He hit 2 batters. He walked another. He didn't allow a hit across 2 innings, which was good, and he struck out 1. But Gene Cabrera did struggle. Fastball worked 95 to 97, but it didn't really matter all that much because he just wasn't really effective with it. It's kind of a dead zone shape. He utilizes a slider and a change in the start. Slider, a changeup in the upper 80s. The slider was in the upper 80s as well, but he threw some 80-mile-an-hour sweepers as well, and he threw those more often than the traditional shaped slider. I was a little unimpressed with Gene Cabrera, but I still think there's some interesting traits to like there with him. Alex McFarland came in relief. He threw gas. He's a hard-throwing reliever with things to like. Mavis Graves was a big breakout last year. He's a big 6'5" lefty. And Graves, he had some ups and downs in the start. He had his moments where it didn't look great. He hit a batter. He was not hitting the locations great. But honestly, like as the start went, like I thought Mavis Graves got better. Like went back and watched my video of him and looking at the pitch tracking that I was doing. And I thought Mavis Graves got better. It was an inning, so like he started out rough. And then ultimately, like I thought it got a bit better. He walked Mitch Jebb to open the game. And then he hit Tony Blanco Jr. in his second batter faced. Sung-Chi Chang had a single on a ground ball that, probably could have been turned into a double play, but it was what it was. So, I think that ultimately Graves was fine. For me, what I took away, the fastball was up. That's notable. Graves averaged like 90 miles an hour last year. He was sitting like 92 to 93, and he had a couple of 94s in there, which is pretty notable. He struck out Jack Brannigan on a pretty devastating slider at 78 miles an hour with good sweeping action. He was throwing a cutter as well and a good changeup. So, Graves is an interesting arm. I think there's still a lot of velo projection there. He's 6'5". He's got some room to add to that frame, but, Graves did look good. Mitch McGary is what you expect out of McGary at this point. He's a reliever. He came in and walked 2. He allowed 2 earned and didn't get an out. So, McGary throws hard, but there wasn't a lot to really see there. That's kind of the pitchers. And this game didn't feature, it had some big names, obviously, like Bubba Chandler. It had Hunter Barco, Anthony Solometo, Moises Chace, but it didn't have, a stacked roster, top to bottom. So we'll take a quick break, and then we will go to the hitters to talk about, because there were some good hitters in this game and some pretty sneaky under-the-radar hitters in this game that I think are going to rise up ranks this year. So let's take a break, and we will get right back.
All you homeowners have unique needs. Some feel the need to paint their door a vibrant shade of blue. Others have the need to decorate their bathroom with fish, anchors, and other nautical items. And because each homeowner has unique needs, Geico helps you get the right coverage for your home and what's in it. That way, you get exactly what's right for you, even if your needs are unique. Get more with Geico.
All right, we are back from the break. Let's dive in on the hitters from this game, because there were a lot to cover. So pitchers were a little shorter, but a lot of hitters in action today that I wanted to cover from the Pirates and Phillies. Sung-Chi Chang led off for the Pirates, and he had 2 hits and a walk. I think he was the only player in this game to reach base 3 times. He's small. He's always made a lot of contact. I've seen Chang for a while, since I think 2023 when he was in Greensboro. But Chang's just a high-contact shortstop that looked the part. He played the entire game. He drove in a run. I don't know if Chang's an everyday major leaguer, but he's a solid player. The one everybody wants to talk about, Konnor Griffin, he frankly gave me nothing. He went 0 for 5 with a strikeout. He did look good in center field. We got some jailbreak runs on, which means it was a full sprint from home to first. Clocked him in 4.15 to 4.2 range. So that's really good speed for somebody that's 6'4" and as strong as he is. Probably an above average to plus runner. Maybe he ticks down with time, but that athlete is really, really good. Now, Griffin made a swing change this offseason, and it's paid dividends. Honestly, you look at Konnor Griffin, and I think he's going to make enough contact to make this profile work with power and speed. Now, Omar Alfonzo is a big left-handed catcher that started for the Pirates in this game. He collected a hit. He's looked the part. I mean, he had a really good year last year, and I've seen him on the backfields all week. I saw him in Spring Breakout, and he looked really good. I mean, his bat's good. He's a big build. He's what you want to see out of a catcher, and he's got that really, really strong frame. So I think there's going to be power. It just comes down to, does he make enough contact? So we will see about that. Now, Johnny Severino is a player that I've loved for a long time. I saw him on the backfields last year in the complex. He really stood out. And, Severino is giving me mixed looks this week. He actually looks a little bit skinnier than he did last year. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing per se. It's not a great thing, but it's not a bad thing that Severino looks a little bit skinnier. The athlete's still good. I think there's a good field of hit and power there. Wasn't on full display. He did walk, he scored, but he struck out twice. So that was worth noting in this game. And Edward Florentino pinch hit for him. It was a bad spot. I mean, he got put in the bottom of the 9th. The team's down 2 runs, and there was 2 outs. And Florentino struck out looking. It was a tough pitch, but at the end of the day, Edwin Florentino is a guy that has stood out more than anybody on the backfield. It's like he's someone that's looked the part to me, like major dude status. He's 6'4". He runs well. He's a good athlete. There's good juice in that bat. Like Florentino looks like a guy that I want to invest in right now. Esmerlyn Valdez is another one. Valdez, it's all about the contact skills. He can hit for power. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but he hit for a ton of pop last year in the Florida State League. He may have led the Florida State League in home runs last year. I do want to confirm that, but Valdez hit for a ton of pop, and he had 22 home runs and 435 plate appearances in the Florida State League. That's a big accomplishment. If you've ever been to the Florida State League, like the ball doesn't travel. The air's so thick in Tampa in the summer, the ball just doesn't travel. And so for Valdez to do that in 435 plate appearances is pretty notable. This is a real juice in the bat. It's a big frame. There's a lot to like, but it all comes down to how much contact will Valdez make. So I think he's looked good. He stood out the first day. Like I saw the Pirates. I've seen him 4 times in the last week. And so I saw a lot of Valdez on the backfields and in Spring Breakout. He did have a hit. The Pirates had 1 extra base hit, by the way, in Spring Breakout. It was Omar Alfonzo's double. But Valdez really looked the part. So good look there. You know, Mitch Jebb's interesting. He's like a slappy hitter. He flares his hips out so early just to try to get any type of power, and it's very slap to the opposite field type and just run out of the box. Like it kind of reminds me of like the Ichiro approach, where Ichiro is kind of coming out of the box from the left side before he makes contact. That's exactly what Mitch Jebb does. But Jebb's interesting. Like he's got a good hit tool. He's got good approach. So he's going to make a lot of contact and walk a lot. But yeah, it's not a profile that like fantasy players should invest in. So on the Phillies side of things, there was much more interesting names, in my opinion, at least. Starting with Justin Crawford, who led off, and Crawford had 2 hits. He had a triple, which he can fly. Like there's never been any question of can Justin Crawford run. I mean, he's like a 70 runner. He's a great defender. He makes a lot of contact, and he hits the ball hard. Now, the issue with Justin Crawford is the launch angles and the ground balls. Last year, he lowered his ground ball rate down to like 60%. I think it was some like 67 in 2023. But there's major swing changes that need to be made in order for Crawford to ultimately get to where he needs to be. I think if he can get the ball in the air 50% of the time, he's going to be a major guy, because I think he ran a 9th percentile, like 104.5 last year. Don't have it right in front of me, but there is good juice in the bat, and there's plenty of contact. He's still got some projection on the frame, and I think Crawford's going to be a really solid player. So I'm kind of in on Justin Crawford. Now, this is his first look at Dante Nori, the Phillies' first rounder last year. Was hoping to get Griffin Burkholder as well. He did not play. Haven't seen him on the backfield, so trying to figure that out, but I think you can read the tea leaves there. Nori, he didn't have a great game. I mean, he went 0 for 3 with a strikeout. It was kind of, he's fast. Like, it's kind of what he was billed as a contact, fast type hitter. He's shorter, but he's a strong build that runs well. I don't know. Like, Nori, to me, is fine. Like, there's still a lot of development to be had here. He was one of the older prep players last year in the draft, so I think he turned 20, like, not long after the draft. He'll turn 21 this year, if I'm not mistaken. I do want to confirm that, because I am not sure off the top of my head his exact birthday, but I'm almost certain that he will. Yeah, he turned 20, and so he'll be 20 for the whole season. He'll turn 21 in October, but much older for a rookie that will be in the Florida State League most likely. But Nori was fine. I mean, he didn't like do anything to impress. He was just fine. Aidan Miller, he didn't do much either, but Miller struck out twice in 4 trips to the plate. He looks the part, though. I mean, Miller's swing is smooth. He checks a lot of boxes. Like, Miller played some short and some third. I would guess that third's like his long-term position, just given the frame. But Miller's a good athlete for his size. He runs fine. I think that just third base is a better fit for him. There's juice in the bat. Like, I think Miller's going to be a fine power bat with a good feel to hit and good plate discipline skills, but he just didn't do much in the game that was like, wow. So every time I see Gabriel Rincones, though, Rincones does look the part. Rincones was in the AFL the past 2 years. So 2023, he looked like a stud. 2024 looked like a stud. He looks really good as well. Like I've seen him again, this past week, and he looks good. I mean, this is a guy, when you look at him and you see the frame, it's like this guy was just built to play baseball. He's a big 6'2". He's strong. He actually runs pretty well. And there's serious juice in the bat. And he had 3 home runs in big league camp, early going. So he was kind of making an impression there. And Rincones continued to do that as well. He had a double in the game. He had another ball hard to the outfield, which turned into a fly out. I look at him and I'm impressed. Like, he's not going to be somebody I don't think that lights up the stat sheet. I don't think he turns into like a high-end prospect. But I do believe that Gabriel Rincones is just a guy. Like, I really do believe that Rincones could be really, really good. Maybe he's not going to be a stud, but he could be an everyday player, and I would not be shocked at all. Like, that's what I think of Rincones when I watch him. Now, Eduardo Taiit, he's young. He caught the game. This is an interesting frame. Like, how does the body continue to fill out? He's 18 and a half. Like, he turned 18 at the end of August last year, so he'll spend the full year as an 18-year-old. He reached single A last year. It's an interesting kind of approach with Taiit, where he's aggressive. I mean, he'll chase, but he does make a lot of contact to make up for it. Now, Taiit's, I don't pull the exact numbers. His contact rates were pretty good last year. And I don't think he really got all the credit he deserved, but there's serious juice. He had a ball 112.5 last year when he was 17 still. That's good pop. And I think the 9th percentile was around 105, which is north of MLB average. And the kid was 17 to 18 years old. He was 17 pretty much the whole season. So Eduardo Taiit, he's a guy. He'll probably go back to single A this year. I bet he spends half the year there before bumping to high A Jersey Shore. But yeah, Taiit, does he stick behind the plate? We'll see. He didn't really do much to impress, but this kid's just good all around. So watch out for him. Honestly, Carson DeMartini, he probably was and has been one of the more impressive Phillies I've seen. Him and one other that I'll mention next. The times I've seen him this week, I've seen the Phillies 3 times at this point. I mean, DeMartini can mash. Like, he hit a home run to the opposite field. He hit a home run on the backfield on Monday off the batter's eye, like halfway up the batter's eye. This kid's got juice. Now, he changed his swing. So if you look I'm going to put the video in the YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see where the swing change happened. And this was a quick turnaround too, like from Virginia Tech to August. Like, he got drafted in July and they changed the swing pretty quick. He's much more simplified. He's in a similar spot at the start of his swing, but the pre-swing movement's much more limited now. And he looks the part, man. I'm telling you, Carson DeMartini is a major sleeper in the system. I think he's good. I think he's a top 10 prospect in the system. And I feel pretty good about that because if the contact sticks, like his contact rates were really bad last year at Virginia Tech, like borderline, like undraftable bad. But I don't know, man. He's done some things that really make him look the part. I mean, his contact rates at Virginia Tech were 72.5% end zone and 64% overall. Like, that's from a ACC type player, that's almost undraftable. Like, not kidding. But the Phillies saw it last year in pro ball, and it was not a huge sample, but 80% overall, 85% end zone, 20% chase. The power is there for sure. He's going to hit the ball hard. He's going to hit home runs. So watch out for him. Aroon Escobar, another top 10 prospect in the system pretty easily, in my opinion, maybe even higher. Now, Escobar, kind of piqued interest last year with a look at when I was in the Florida or the complex and saw him. His data was really good. He had a 104 mile an hour 9th percentile at 19 last year. He's got a good approach. He's got contact and he's got power. Now, it's a small frame. It's not a great frame when you look at it. It's short, it's stocky, but he actually moves well. Like, he can field, and he honestly looks good. He hit a ball 110.5 that turned into a double. That's smoked. And then the next day, or not the next day, but earlier this week on the backfields, saw him hit a home run as well. Escobar, he looks like a guy. I mean, you can watch the video and see, but I'm rather impressed with Aroon Escobar. I think he's going to pop off hard this year, and I think that there's just, a special kind of profile here. He's young. He'll be 20. He'll go to single A. Probably not there for long, if I'm honest with you. I think this player is just really good, and he's too advanced for single A. I'm pretty sure he had a home run in big league camp too, so looks really, really good. Devin Saltiban, another one of the underrated guys in this system, where Saltiban had a double as well. He matched Escobar there. He had a hit. He had a couple hard hit balls. And Saltiban is small too. Like, he's a shorter frame, but he had a 24% chase rate last year, which is good. Contact rates are average, and he hits the ball fairly hard with good launch angles. He hit 17 home runs in the Florida State League last year. That's no easy task, especially for somebody that's a second baseman with his frame. But Devin Saltiban, somebody to watch out for sure. This Phillies lineup had a lot of sneaky names, but I would say, like, if you're looking for some potential gems that were in these lineups, I would say Carson DeMartini. I would say, for sure, Aroon Escobar. I mean, Gabriel Rincones is good. Devin Saltiban, Esmerlyn Valdez, and Edward Florentino. I'm of a lot of Edward Florentino film. I've still got Ubus of film to cut, so I will catch up, I promise, but I think Florentino might be a guy that pops off this year, so watch out for him. But that has been today's episode of the Dynasty Dugout Show. If you would, like and subscribe to the show. Subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so it helps me grow. We'll be doing this daily. Every single day we'll be recapping what I see from the previous day. I'll be at minor league games multiple times a week during the season. And if I'm not at a game, I'll be watching games on MILB TV. And I will report back with the quick hits of everything you need to know from minor league baseball. But that's going to be a wrap. We will talk to you again tomorrow. We'll recap the Twins and the Blue Jays spring breakout, which Blue Jays are sneaky, man. Their system's better than people give it credit for. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. So be sure to like and subscribe so you know when it releases tomorrow. But until then, we will talk soon.
All you homeowners have unique needs. Some feel the need to paint their door a vibrant shade of blue. Others have the need to decorate their bathroom with fish, anchors, and other nautical items. And because each homeowner has unique needs, Geico helps you get the right coverage for your home and what's in it. That way, you get exactly what's right for you, even if your needs are unique. Get more with Geico.